Three things coming into St. Louis we knew for a fact was that Ryan Villopoto was strong, Justin Barcia was strong, and the dirt here in St. Louis is very good. And by the time we got to the end of the night, nothing really changed. The dirt was great, and both of those riders were spectacular.
Yeah, the cream rises to the top, and I'm telling you, at the end of the 20-lap Supercross main event, you're really seeing the two guys who were the most determined and the most focused, the most fit, battling out for this championship. They were 1 and 2.
You know, Ryan Dungey came into this weekend not knowing if he was even going to ride, Ricky. He had a crash in practice at his test track, and he was hurting. But he put on an amazing performance.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there during the week. Supposedly he did have a wreck, but either way, he brought it in the main event. He was extremely fast in practice, and he really closed in a lot of time there on Ryan Villopoto towards the end of the main event. But nevertheless, it was you know, a three-point loss for him this weekend. But he's still in the fight, and if you want to be that Supercross champion, Jeff, you always talk about it. You got to be strong, and there's sometimes when you're not going to be 100%. And I really liked his extra effort that he gave this weekend.
Yeah. And what was cool is when Ryan Dungey was on the podium, we're actually seeing a little bit of emotion, a little bit of tears coming out. You could tell we all not really sure, you know, what went on during the week, what went on today inside of the KTM hauler and all that stuff, and what sort of you know, obstacles he had to overcome. But you could tell that this race really meant something. And it takes me back to my championship here in 1997. I injured my right leg on Friday. Wasn't even sure that I was going to be able to race. At the end of the night, I ended up second. So it's 22 points towards the championship. And it wasn't my best night, but I'm telling you, that the fact that I was on the podium and I got those points was so important, and that I battled through that day. You know, there's a similarity there to me of what Dungey accomplished here today.
You know the frustrating thing for Ryan Villopoto, now that we have, you know, James had a bad night, Chad Reed's not in the mix. It's tough because he's, you know, Villopoto, he's riding so hard, he's in the zone, and if Dungey has a little bit of an injury, you're thinking, man, I'm going to make up a lot of points. And with all these guys out, he's only making up 3 points, where 5 weeks ago could have been a 5-point gain. So
yeah, five or seven possibly, if he wins, and
So you know, it's going to be hard to make up a lot of points if Dungey and Villopoto are going to be going 1-2 every single weekend.
Well, and now we move on to Daytona, and a racetrack that you've actually designed as we get ready for what is usually the most unusual layout of the year. Not just because you design it, but because of what Daytona provides you to design.
Yeah, I'm really excited about next week's race. Been doing this for several years now, designing the track, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great racetrack for TV, for fans. I hope the riders like it. You know, you can't please everyone, but it's definitely a pleasure to be able to do that. Last year was exciting. A lot of drama, obviously, with James Stewart and his horrific crash that he had, and it's going to be exciting.
The Tri-Oval at Daytona, the World Center of Racing, always provides for some great Supercross action. We will have that for you live from the beach when we get down there next week as we kick off Bike Week. For Ricky and Jeff, I'm Ralph. See you down there.